look up. High above what was once Metropolis, a colossal statue looms. It is not a monument to hope, but to fear, a granite-carved effigy of Superman and Batman, their faces stern, their eyes cold. In this universe, the world is ruled by two brutal dictators. This is the darkest DC timeline. The roots of this oppression began with three architects of chaos: Lightning Lord, Saturn Queen, and Cosmic King. They exploited the very fabric of time, adjusting a few delicate threads to ensure that the dawn of heroes would never arrive. They chose to rule not directly, but through the two most powerful puppets they could find. Their first surgical strike was in Smallville. When the Kryptonian ship crashed, the cosmic villains were already there. They murdered Jonathan and Martha Kent, eliminating the chance for Clark to learn humanity and compassion. The infant Kal-El was seized, indoctrinated into their twisted worldview. Years later, in Gotham, the tragedy of Crime Alley repeated itself. But this time, the villains killed the killer, Joe Chill, and took the orphaned Bruce Wayne under their wing. They raised Clark and Bruce as brothers, molding them into twin titans of tyranny, one fueled by brute strength, the other by cold, calculating terror. The world had lost its saviors and gained its oppressors. To secure their reign, the villains systematically dismantled the future Justice League before it could even gather. Barry Allen, the Flash, was the first target. Training in Central City, he was struck down by a targeted surge of pure electrical energy from Lightning Lord. The age of speed ended in a flash, his body reduced to ash. Next, Hal Jordan, the skilled pilot, was airborne. Saturn Queen used her formidable mental influence, not to control him, but to violently sabotage his jet's controls. Hal crashed and died, never receiving the Green Lantern ring. The cosmos would remain silent for this world. Martian Manhunter, John Johns, arrived only to be met by Cosmic King's intervention. The lab experiment meant to welcome him was sabotaged, resulting in a sudden, catastrophic inferno that claimed the Martian's life. And finally, the most cold-blooded act, Aquaman. Arthur Curry's parents were murdered long before his birth, ensuring the King of Atlantis would never draw breath. With these four key heroes eliminated, the Justice League became nothing more than a ghost story. The only twisted comfort the villains allowed was the meeting of Superman and Lois Lane and Batman and Catwoman, a dark symmetry to their personal lives. Yet, despite the absolute iron fist, a desperate spark ignited. A lone vigilante, Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, refused to yield. We find him confronting regime police, who were enforcing a brutal law against basic civil liberties. Green Arrow fired his bow in defiance. As the police scattered, a woman pointed to the sky. They were already there. Superman and Batman descended, moving with devastating speed. Oliver fired an exploding arrow. Superman snatched it out of the air, the small blast only momentarily stunning him. Batman engaged immediately, moving with brutal efficiency. Oliver, despite his skill, was overmatched. Batman broke him down with a flurry of strikes, culminating in a vicious kick to the head. Superman stood over the defeated hero, his heat vision glowing with cold resolve, delivering their regime's ultimate law: obey or die. Green Arrow was vaporized, a symbol of hope reduced to nothing. The two dictators returned home, to a lavish sanctuary where the three cosmic villains played the roles of their loving parents. It was Superman's birthday, and the scene was sickeningly domestic. The villains, now calling themselves his mother and father, asked him to make a wish. The answer was chillingly genuine. Superman had everything he could wish for a brother like Bruce, and parents as good as them. The indoctrination was complete. Meanwhile, the true heart of the resistance, Wonder Woman, Diana, was working in the shadows. She tracked down a frightened, broken man hiding in a dusty bunker. He pleaded with her not to hurt him. Diana ignored his pleas and wrapped her lasso of truth around him. The magical glow cut through the mental fog that had been shielding his identity. The old man stood tall, his voice regaining its authority. He was Uncle Sam, the very spirit of the nation, now awakened. Uncle Sam knew the scale of the fight. He told Diana to prepare. A great battle was coming. Their first mission was to retrieve a lost relic. They traveled to the wreckage of Hal Jordan's jet, finding the Green Lantern power ring still on his skeletal finger. Diana explained that the ring was bound by a law the villains could never comprehend: the will to overcome great fear. It only worked for the truly deserving. Uncle Sam, the symbol of American courage, recited the oath. The ring accepted him, transforming him into a flying beacon of emerald light. He knew where to find allies. Diana and Uncle Sam quickly recruited the last surviving heroes of the parallel world,
Now
Earth
Dolman
X,
map.
the Freedom Fighters. They were Phantom Lady, Master of Light and Invisibility, the Ray Controller of Light Energy, Dollman, the Shrinking Saboteur, and the Human Bomb, the Living Detonator. Their combined forces, though small, represented the final chance for this timeline. Back in the Watchtower, the three cosmic villains sensed the gathering storm. They felt a ripple in the time stream they had so carefully constructed. Lightning Lord, ever arrogant, dismissed it. He boasted they could simply go back and fix any mistake. But Saturn Queen, the most cautious of the three, warned them. She knew the dangers of excessive meddling. It could upset the delicate balance and cause the entire timeline to unravel. The first counterstrike came from an unexpected source. In the snowy peaks of the Himalayas, where Batman and Superman were crushing a small pocket of resistance, Superman suddenly screamed, clutching his head. Something was inside him. The hero Deadman, Boston Brand, had possessed the Kryptonian. Superman, under Deadman's control, lunged at Batman. Batman, using a specialized sonic weapon, urged his brother to fight the influence. Cornered, Batman used a secret spell he had learned from forgotten lore, a desperate whispered incantation, Mortis Maneo. The ghostly figure of Deadman was forcibly ejected. Batman quickly trapped the hero inside a lead-lined crystal. Superman, now back in control, apologized, saying he would never hurt his brother. The moment was interrupted by the sudden appearance of the villains, reminding them, it's time for justice. The Resistance had begun its attack. The Freedom Fighters and Wonder Woman launched their assault on the Watchtower perimeter. The ray instantly blinded sections of the regime's army with his light. Dollman, shrinking to size, sabotaged their heavy machinery. Superman and Batman arrived. Batman, ever the tactician, quickly analyzed the ray's attacks and countered with an electromagnetic net, instantly neutralizing and killing the ray. Diana engaged Batman in a devastating duel, a flurry of godlike speed against calculated, peak human precision. Meanwhile, Superman battled Uncle Sam in the sky, their collision shaking the tower. Diana, seeing the battle turning, knew only a sacrifice could buy the Time Fighters the necessary seconds. She wrapped her lasso of truth around Batman's neck and, with a final, desperate act of war, she killed him, snapping his neck. Superman looked down and saw his brother's lifeless body, his human side shattered. A raw, animalistic howl of anguish tore from his throat. He punched Uncle Sam with such force that the hero was sent crashing miles away. Superman grabbed Bruce's body and flew to his parents, pleading for them to fix him. Lightning Lord, without emotion, simply placed his hand on the body and told Superman,
"He
is beyond saving now, Kal-El. Take your vengeance." Superman's grief turned into pure, cold rage. He saw the lasso still attached to Batman's neck. He grabbed the other end, found Wonder Woman, and used his full Kryptonian strength to kill Diana instantly with her own weapon. While Superman was consumed by vengeance, Phantom Lady and Dollman found the secret within the statue, a concealed time machine. They activated the temporal bubble, attempting to revert the timeline. Superman arrived, his eyes burning with pure heat. He delivered his final warning: obey or die. The human bomb, Roy Lincoln, stepped forward, his body glowing red. He warned the Dictator that the time bubble was active, and if Superman killed him now, the resulting blast would cause a catastrophic, timeline-destroying paradox. Blinded by grief and rage, Superman didn't care. He silenced the human bomb. The explosive force of the human bomb collided with the unstable temporal field. The villains screamed as their carefully crafted reality began to violently unravel. The statue shattered. The watchtower crumbled. The timeline was not fixed. It was deleted.